Here we are in the Artifacts Gallery. We're one of 8 places in the world that has artifacts on long-term loan from the nation of Israel. That's a big deal. And we're the largest collection in the United States. We're happy to have these. And they're on loan. They're not ours. So we have 7 exhibits in here. And this exhibit is our Life of the Shepherd, Life of the Farmer exhibit. Remember the tent outside? We have a loom over here where they're weaving a panel for a tent. The light color is camel's hair, the dark color is goat hair, and tree limbs make the frame of the loom. Those things are biodegradable. They rot and go away. But there are stone weights at the bottom holding the threads down. Those are loom weights found in a location they know they were weaving on a loom. If you found those on a glass shelf with a sign that said loom weights, you'd say, oh, how nice. What better way to find them than on the loom? That's in the situation that you would likely find them when they're being used. Now the things in here made of stone, the things made of clay, the things made of metal usually are an artifact, but not all of those. We have 250 on loan, and we're grateful to have those. We have some stone tools here made of flint. We have hammers, axe heads, knife blades, an awl for drilling, a scraping tool, a chisel, a spearhead, and a couple more scraping tools. And you recognize the arrowhead at the end of the shaft there as an arrow. But do you see this white thing on the far right? Looks sort of like a deer antler. You know what that is? It's a deer antler. But you see it has serrated flint embedded in the inside arch of it. It was used as a sickle to cut down the grain. And it worked so well, when they finally made the iron sickle, we have one on the top of the rocks over there, they used the same shape because it works so well. Now we showed you some tombs outside. We actually have 4 tombs outside and 2 other tombs in here. We have the Old Testament time period tomb, the same as what we had outside, okay, but cut down by 1 headrest to fit it in here. This is New Testament time period. I can tell because of the bone boxes. Bone boxes appear in Israel only during the time of the Herods, which is 37 BC to 70 AD. What happened in 70 AD? The Romans came in, destroyed the city, the temple, and all the trees for 10 miles around. With no fruit trees, people scattered looking for food other places. There's no one left that can afford these. These are real 2,000-year-old used bone boxes that came to us from Israel, from their warehouse. Now, coming this way is the Old Testament time period tomb. This one is based on one they found in 1979. Archaeologists went into a cave in the southwest corner of Jerusalem, and in that cave they found 25 tombs. All of the tombs had been robbed, except for one. It was not robbed because the ceiling had collapsed on it, and the grave robbers wouldn't go in there. But the archaeologists, they dug their way through, found over 700 artifacts in that one tomb, one of which was a little silver scroll. We have a replica here. There's only one, so we don't get that. Ours is a replica, but it's actual size. You're seeing it in 2 forms, rolled up and unrolled. They took it to the office and unrolled it, found Hebrew handwriting on it. Well, just like your handwriting is different from my handwriting, it takes a while to decipher what's written on there. Did your teacher ever tell you that your handwriting looked like chicken scratch? We have some chicken scratch right here. Do you see that clay piece up there? That's cuneiform, the oldest alphabet in the world. That's the kind of writing Abraham and Sarah would have seen. That piece is nearly 5,000 years old. Back to our little silver scroll, they turned it over to an epigraphist. That's a handwriting expert. Her name was Ada Yardini. They asked her to translate if she could. Well, 3 years later, she came out of the office for coffee break one afternoon with her hands on her hips and said, I've been working on this scroll for 3 years, and all I can decipher is the word Lord, but it's on there 3 times. And one of the secretaries said, oh, I might know what that says. She said, really? What do you think? On the inside, she's thinking, I'm the epigraphist. I don't know what it says. How could you know? She said, my father is a Jewish rabbi. He used to say that to us every Sabbath before we went to synagogue. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. It took her 3 days to admit to the secretary she was right. That's what it said. And it dates to around 600 years BC, making it 350 years older than the oldest Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, moving on. This is our Israelite home, a display that shows some Old Testament and New Testament pieces. When the ancient Israelites built a home, they used stone, of course. That's very plentiful. But if you're going to have a tree in that area, you kind of have to plant your own. Well, they did. When a Jewish boy was born, they planted a cedar tree. When a girl was born, they planted a myrtle tree. When the time came for them to marry, they cut those down to make the roof of the house. So here we have stones for the floor, nice flat ones. They sleep on the floor. Stones on the wall, plastered on the inside so you don't tear your clothes on that. But look at the roof. Cedar beams going this way, myrtle branches crosswise, strong leaves on top of the branches, 4 to 6 inches of mud on top of that. It does not rain in Israel from May to October, so they had lots of sunny days to dry the roof. And that is not Fred Flintstone's car on the top. That's a roof roller. You have to roll the water off when it does rain so the heavy water doesn't cause your roof to collapse. Now, we have the meal setting on the floor. We also have some oil lamps here. These are the oldest ones. And then they learned that that's dangerous because the whole thing can catch on fire. So they folded it back over and made a smaller filler hole. This one with the smallest hole is a Roman-style oil lamp, and the decorated ones are Christian-era oil lamps. The one on the upper right corner is a Arabian lamp, like Aladdin's lamp. Don't you want to climb in there and rub it just to see what would happen? I was in there 4 months ago. Nothing happens. Okay, I was in there, but don't tell on me. I didn't touch it. Okay, come on this way. This is Roman-style home. Notice the roof of this house is made of clay tiles. The Roman soldiers, when they were not fighting or training for war, their job was to make clay tiles, among other things. We have a tile here. It's stamped to get credit for the tile, and no one can steal it from you, with the number of the legion. It has LEG for Legion, X for the number 10. The 10th Roman Legion was the Iron Legion. They are the ones in 70 AD that destroyed the temple. That tile was made by the hands of a Roman soldier 2,000 years ago. I think we're fortunate to have it in our museum. Okay. Now this is a woman's wedding bonnet with the coins on there. Those are her dowry. Do you think they ever had fun in the Bible? Well, here's a game, 4,700-year-old Egyptian game called Senate. Look that up on the internet. You can see the rules on how to play. Come on this way. Behind this glass is a shipwreck, and each of the pots in there came from a different shipwreck off the Mediterranean coast of Israel. That's all I tell anybody, because that's about all I know. Over here is our Life of the Sea, Life of the Fisherman exhibit. We have the tools of the trade for the fishermen on the back wall are 4 anchors. The one on the far left is the oldest one. Can you imagine trying to get that heavy thing in and out of the boat? They discovered all you really need to do is hook on something on the bottom. So they put hooks in the anchor weights. The weights get smaller because all you really need is a weight heavy enough to get the hook to the bottom. Okay. Now, we have a couple of nets displayed here. There were 4 nets used in the New Testament for fishing. We have some anchor weights here. This net is a basket net used like a lobster trap. The one hanging on the wall is a drag net. And then this over here is a basket net as well. Well, that's our artifacts gallery. Come let me give you a full tour because this was just a very quick one. Thanks.